Hey, before we get started with this video, I want to let you guys know I am putting a bonus video up on my second channel today. The link is down in the description to the second channel. Make sure to turn on notifications over there and whatnot too. I am uploading there. I am putting videos up over there. And it's a way to see extra videos and have a good time, I guess. So yeah, with that being said, enjoy the video. Alright folks, it's kind of sad to see this kind of happening, man, because obviously people who take advantage of situations and people, they've been around forever. It's kind of almost, I would say, a very negative part of humanity, right? It's just almost human nature that at some point people will take advantage of a situation if they know that they can get a benefit from it. It happens, right? You know, I don't think anyone is really above it either. I think if the offer or the possibilities are lucrative enough that pretty much anybody will step in and do something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm not a psychologist, but maybe I don't know anything about anything. So what I do know something about, though, is this situation that we're going to be talking about in particular, which is disgusting. And I mean, we're talking about an elected official, okay? We're not talking about some dude with the will to buy a Lamborghini in Florida, like the last one. We're not talking about anything like that. We're talking about an elected official who is supposed to be in office to represent everyday Americans and to help make decisions on behalf of us. That is taking federal money, okay, so essentially taxpayer money, and using it for their own good. I don't know what it is recently with people getting caught stealing out of federal grants and basically taking taxpayers' monies for their own goods, I guess, for their own purposes, but it's been something that's been going on a lot recently. And I mean, if we're keeping it honest, if we're keeping it $1.50, this is probably the best time for somebody who wanted to rip people off to do so. I mean, so many Americans right now are just simply desperate to make a living. A lot of people are still laid off. A lot of people are still unemployed. And a lot of federal money is getting thrown around to try and combat a lot of issues right now. And I think with all of this kind of chaos going on, it's probably a lot easier now to get away with something like this than maybe it would have been last summer. A Tennessee state senator has been charged with stealing more than $600,000 in federal grant money and using it to pay for campaign events and personal expenses, including her wedding, honeymoon, and subsequent divorce, federal prosecutors announced on Wednesday. The senator, Katrina Robinson, who is 39, faces counts of theft and embezzlement involving government programs and wire fraud, according to a criminal complaint filed in the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Tennessee. The money in question was intended to fund a nurse training program at a vocational school run by Miss Robinson, but instead was siphoned off to add to her salary, help fund her other businesses, and pay personal expenses, among other things, according to an affidavit filed with the complaint. Now, like I said, it just seems like recently a lot of federal money is just getting pulled by people and turned into scams for their own businesses and whatnot, right? So we're talking about a woman who's obviously successful. She has her own businesses. She was an elected official. She was a state senator for Tennessee. She was in a position to where she was having a nurse training program at a school that she ran, okay? So, I mean, at that point, man, you gotta have some money. Like, I've never met some dude making 30 grand a year out here running a entire vocational school, right? I've never seen something like that. So it's just horrible to see a situation like this in which $600,000 worth of taxpayer dollars have now disappeared because this person is greedy. And we're talking about things that include a wedding, a honeymoon, and then a divorce. I mean, come on, man. If you're going to siphon off federal money to fund your wedding or whatever, you better make that shit work out. That's all I'm saying. Like I said in the last one, man, I thought my tax money was going for roads, schools, things like that. No, apparently it's going to fund this woman's honeymoon, wedding, divorce, her businesses, her personal expenses. I mean, like I said, you know what? You want to steal my money? I'm not even that surprised. You want to steal my taxpayer money? That doesn't surprise me there, but at least make the marriage work out instead of burning through even more of our money. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, man, it's so scummy. But in addition to serving as a state senator, Miss Robinson, a Memphis Democrat elected in 2018 who represents Shelby County, is director of the Healthcare Institute, a for-profit college that provides training programs for certified nursing assistants, phlebotomists, and licensed practical nursing. Miss Robinson, a registered nurse, founded this school in 2015, according to its website. According to the complaint, the Healthcare Institute was awarded over $2.2 million in federal grants from the Health Resources and Services Administration, part of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, From 2015 to 2019, the Healthcare Institute was awarded the grant under the condition that it would be used to train nurse assistants to care for geriatric patients and provide need-based scholarships for the program. An investigation into Miss Robinson began in 2016 when an anonymous complaint to the Health and Human Services Department alleged that she used $550 of that grant money to buy a Louis Vuitton handbag, according to the affidavit. Once again, man, like, this is what really, I guess, just doesn't, I can't understand, right? Because these people, they steal this money, right? They get federal money to do basically whatever they want with, okay? That's a good amount of money. I mean, you give anyone $2.2 million, it's pretty hard to mess that up, right? Like, what can't you buy to the average person for $2.2 million? You could have a nice house, a fleet of cars. I don't know, man. Like, you could have so much with that much money. In all reality, you could take that $2.2 million and make it more if you're not an idiot. But then we see, you know, oh, I'm gonna go buy a $550 Louis Vuitton handbag. For what? What does that get? What do you get out of that, right? Cool, yeah, you got a Louis Vuitton handbag, you get to say that. But first off, you're not escaping the federal government. Like, they're gonna find out where that money goes somehow. They're not giving this money out and just saying, okay, you do what you need to do with it, we'll step back. That's not how that works. If the government is giving you money in any way, you best be ready to prove what you're spending that money on. You better have your receipts, you better have records, bank account records, everything. Because when they step in and say, okay, yeah, how'd you spend that money? You're gonna be in some trouble if it's not on what you said. And we're talking about someone who runs a for-profit college, okay? At a certain point, like, once again, I've never met a middle-class family that runs a for-profit college. Based on bank records, investigators found evidence that Miss Robinson had given herself a $25,400 performance bonus, paid herself more than her allocated salary, and transferred $54,000 to a retirement fund, according to charging documents. The discrepancies amount to $169,000, $134, more in salary than she should have been paid under her grant terms, according to the court prosecutors. These expenses required consultation with and prior approval from Health Resources and Services Administration, neither of which occurred. Further, according to Health Resources and Services Administration representatives, if approval had been sought for these items, it would not have been granted. Yeah, I can't imagine on what planet the government would have ever been like, yeah, go ahead and spend $550 on a Louis Vuitton handbag, give yourself, you know, a slight 50 grand to put into your retirement fund. That would have never have happened. I mean, come on, it doesn't, I don't think it takes a rocket scientist, does it? It doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure that out, does it? That's why she didn't seek approval. She knew that she wasn't going to get it. Why would she ever have seeked it, right? It's insane to me what these people do with the money once they get it. Once they have the opportunity to rip off the federal government, what they do with it is just, it blows my mind. Because, I mean, I wouldn't ever do anything like this, honestly. I mean, well, unless it was like 90 million or something crazy. You're not gonna see me over 600 grand or anything like that doing this, but I can figure out plenty of things that I would do with that money. I'd be buying real estate. I'd be investing in the stock market. I'd be buying bonds. Well, I don't know, bonds are kind of bad right now, but something, man. I wouldn't just be sitting back buying a Louis Vuitton handbag with it. I mean, come on. And I don't understand why these people think that they're not going to get caught when they do this. I can't understand how that happens. Investigators found grant money had been transferred to a separate bank account from which, quote, legitimate expenditures for THI's operations were commingled indiscriminately with personal expenditures for the benefit of Robinson and her immediate family, the complaint said, referring to the Healthcare Institute. Among the items listed in the complaint as purchased with grant money were a 2016 Jeep Renegade bought for Miss Robinson's daughter, clothing and beauty products, home furnishings, including a wrought iron front door valued at more than $5,000, and equipment and supplies for her children's snow cone business, Cool Kids Cones. That's not really a good acronym, I'm not gonna lie. You guys probably should have went with a different name, but the money was also used to pay for Miss Robinson and her family to travel to Jamaica, pay off her personal debt, and fund a state senate campaign event. The complaint continued. The Health and Human Services Department began the investigation and was later joined by the FBI, which filed an affidavit with the criminal complaint. Protection of the U.S. Treasury and federal grant programs against theft, fraud, waste, and abuse is a top priority of this office and the Department of Justice. D. Michael Donovan, the U.S. Attorney for the Western District of Tennessee said in a statement on Wednesday. We commend the FBI and the HHS OIG for their diligent and thorough investigation in this case. Now, obviously, let's address this, okay? This part of it. If you think that this is the only senator who is, embezzling federal funds, if you think this is the only member of our government that is taking abuse of their position to this kind of extreme, and to which they're basically stealing money from people, then I got some oceanside property I need to sell you in Iowa, okay? It's as simple as the government is corrupt as fuck, and the people who get that far in government have to do something shady. That's just, there's no way out of it. The American government is so corrupted by lobbyists and interest money and groups that fund them. There's no such thing as a fair election anymore. There's no such thing as legitimate politics in the United States anymore. Everything that's done by the government is done for money. Whoever is going to make money, that usually depends. But at the core basic of it, there's always a lobbyist in someone's pocket. There's always somebody standing there ready to give money. That's how it works. So if they're not doing that, they're probably embezzling funds in some way. Maybe they get away with it, which is very hard to do, but maybe they do get away with it. Maybe they're bribing officials or something. But this kind of corruption leaks into all facets of government. If you think there aren't city officials out there that are corrupt as shit, once again, I don't understand how you can even, be that naive. Judges are this corrupt. There's so much going on, and then you see situations like this, and it makes me sad, man. But with all that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter, Twitch, and Storyfire at @SubTheOptimus. Make sure to check out Shop Opti down below. Thank you to my channel members. Your support helps my channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, not embezzling federal funds. Don't need that, but signing out.